From the moment human beings first stood upright, we stepped into a world that does not sit still. We have no clear map, and without one, even the most resilient human brain can lose its way. Human beings were not born into this world as outsiders looking in. We were born out of it, shaped by the same forces that shape the mountains, the oceans, the storms, and the endless struggle for survival itself. The nonlinear world is not separate from us. It is the environment that built us. Every emotion, every fear, every instinct, every hope emerged from the same system we now struggle to understand. From childhood forward, we are taught to see the world as something orderly and predictable, a system built on straight lines. We are told that if the rules are followed correctly, if the proper steps are taken, success will naturally follow. Study hard, work hard, make the right choices, and life, in return, will reward us accordingly. Over time, many human beings begin to believe there is a hidden formula for success in life. A precise path that, if followed carefully enough, can guarantee safety, happiness, and control over one's future. But the world we actually inhabit does not operate in this way. It bends, it shifts, it collides with itself in ways we rarely understand. The nonlinear world is filled with uncertainty, randomness, unseen variables, and forces far beyond any single human being's control. Yet the human brain continues searching for certainty anyway. It wants to believe that if it becomes smart enough, disciplined enough, savvy enough, it can become the master of its own destiny. Early in life, we are taught that there is a right way and a wrong way to play the game of life. Over time, this conditions the human brain to see its environment as something binary, a world built on opposites, good and bad, up and down, black and white, success and failure. But beneath the surface, the world is not operating in this simple way at all. Hidden underneath is a labyrinth so vast, so interconnected, and so chaotic that certainty itself begins to dissolve. Variables collide, conditions change, outcomes shift without warning. Yet the human brain continues searching for linear answers anyway. It wants life to behave predictably. It wants effort to guarantee reward. It wants the world to make clean and orderly sense. But the nonlinear world does not operate according to simple formulas. It is intrinsically messy. And when human beings expect simplistic, predictable behavior from an environment this complex, the result is often stress, confusion, disappointment, and psychological strain. This video series called Right Side Blind addresses the real reason for stress-related mental illness in our society. Right side blind is a condition of perception. It occurs when the human brain becomes so focused on hardship, uncertainty, and disappointment that it gradually loses sight of the good things still present in life. The opportunities are still there. The moments of happiness are still there. The blessings have not disappeared, yet the brain becomes increasingly unable to see them. It is not reality that has changed. It is our perception of reality. Right Side Blind will take you on a journey through two subjects, the human brain and its environment. Understanding both is vital to the brain's search for safety, security, and relative happiness. These two subjects seem entirely unrelated, but believing this ends up becoming the trap we all fall into when we are born. On the subject of the environment, much of what you believe to be true is about to be challenged. You will discover that many of the assumptions you have inherited about how to live, work, and navigate the world are incomplete. These ideas were passed down to you by parents, teachers, religious leaders, friends, and co-workers, not because they intended to mislead you, but because they were taught the same things. No one taught them differently. Generation after generation, we have inherited a view of the world that leaves out something critically important. You are about to begin a journey that lifts the veil of confusion and reveals the hidden relationship between the human brain and the environment in which it lives. To make this journey, we must first learn to define our world differently. You will come to understand that as a human brain, you are engaged in a constant search for safety, security, and relative happiness. Yet this search takes place within an environment that behaves as a nonlinear dynamical system, shaped by complexity, uncertainty, and chaos. Most of us are familiar with the words chaos and complexity. We use them regularly to describe the challenges and uncertainties we encounter in everyday life. Yet these words carry a far deeper meaning than most people realize. Throughout Right Side Blind, we will explore these concepts in a way that may fundamentally change how you view yourself and the world around you. But this introduction is not the place for that discussion. Instead, video by video, we will gradually construct a new understanding of the world and reshape our thinking to better align with the reality in which we live. Along the way, you will encounter a number of ideas and concepts that may be unfamiliar. Some were developed over centuries, others are entirely new. Concepts such as cognitive modeling, model-based reliance, the Mona Lisa problem, the eternal now, the Grand Exponent, and Right Side Blind itself. Each will serve as a tool for understanding the hidden relationship between the brain and the environment. Individually, they may seem unrelated. Together, they form a framework for understanding the world as it truly is. The more the brain chases certainty and order in a nonlinear world, driven by complexity, the more it will feel like it's drowning. Instead, we human brains need to change our view of the world. Our goals should not be perfection. They should be adaptation. Success in life is not about eliminating mistakes. It's about learning how to navigate the world despite them. Mistakes, errors, and suffering are not obstacles. They are signals and feedback of information about the environment we belong to. They tell the brain what's working and what isn't, helping it to define its approach to achieving survival and happiness. Our psychiatric paradigm is filled to the brim with depression, anxiety, obsessive-compulsive disorder, borderline personality disorder, manic depression, and PTSD. Along with these diagnoses is an endless list of pharmaceuticals to counteract these mental illnesses. When conditions are caused by environmental stress, the psychological community automatically assumes the brain is broken. In reality, and in many instances, the brain simply needs knowledge about the external environment. It needs the rule book, which was never given out at birth. Most stress-related mental illness is simply the byproducts of brains trying to force linear solutions onto a nonlinear life. The good news is, brains do not have to fight against the complexity of the world. They just need to learn to move with it. No human life needs to be perfect to function. Everything does not need to be figured out, as the system is too vast for any one person to control, and that's okay. The more a human being can accept uncertainty and unpredictability as part of the process, the less power the system has over the person. But, as stated earlier, understanding the environment is only half of the equation. To understand how human beings navigate the world, we must also understand the tool doing the navigation, the brain itself. Along the way, we will explore concepts such as metacognition, agency, cognitive modeling, and model-based reliance. These subjects may sound complicated, but they are already influencing every decision you make. They shape how you interpret reality, how you respond to uncertainty, how you define success and failure, and even how you think about yourself. Most people go through life without ever realizing that the brain is constantly constructing models of reality and relying upon them to make sense of the world. These models help us navigate an uncertain environment, but they can also become the source of misunderstanding, frustration, and unnecessary suffering. To understand the relationship between the brain and the environment, we must first understand the relationship between the brain and its own models. The questions we will explore throughout this series are not new. It will become evident that you are not the first humans to confront the challenges of life. For thousands of years, human beings have struggled to understand themselves, their suffering, and their place within the world. Long before the language of neuroscience, psychology, and nonlinear systems existed, philosophers, spiritual traditions, and ordinary people were wrestling with many of the same challenges we face today. Thinkers such as Arthur Schopenhauer and Friedrich Nietzsche devoted their lives to understanding suffering and the human condition. The teachings of Buddhism explored the search for balance through what became known as the middle way. Across cultures and across generations, people carefully observed the world around them, searching for patterns and lessons that might help them navigate an uncertain existence. Even our everyday expressions reveal this effort. The wisdom embedded within countless sayings, proverbs, and idioms did not emerge by accident. They are the accumulated observations of generations of human beings attempting to understand how the world behaves and how best to live within it. Throughout this journey, we will revisit many of these ideas. We will discover that while the language may differ, many of humanity's greatest thinkers were observing the same environment, confronting the same uncertainties, and searching for answers to many of the same questions we continue to ask today. By the time this journey is complete, you may never look at yourself, your challenges, or your place in the world quite the same way again. Welcome to Right Side Blind.